I'm Nancy from Black Sheep Knitting. Happy holidays is all I have to say. I'm excited. I love this whole holiday season. I love the Christmas lights. I love the hustle and bustle and buying gifts. And although I'm way behind, I don't know about any of you, but I know Hanukkah's coming soon, so everybody better get busy. I have some ideas here in the shop for gifts. But first I'd like to tell you what I'm wearing. This is a shawl called Odyssey. I think it's LOCATELLI, but I meant to look that up. But you can find it on Ravelry. And this is made in Road to China Light, which is this yummy yarn that I just love. And it's alpaca, silk, camel, and cashmere. So what could be better? So it's 3 colors. And I picked out 3 that I thought were fun. These are carnelian and riverstone and pearl. So that's an idea. And these I thought were quite beautiful. And you could use any of those. You could switch them around. These are peridot. And this is apatite. I think I'm saying that right, but I'm not sure. And this is cobalt. So these 3 together I thought were also quite lovely. So we have those in the shop. So anybody who's a shawl lover, this is a beautiful one. And it feels so warm. It's just warm and it's soft. So I recommend that. I have a gift idea. This is called a gleaner. For those of you who don't have one, this is what they are, and they take the pills off your garments. Now, last week we talked about mohair, and today I want to talk a little bit about cashmere. And even the very best cashmeres pill. Sometimes they stop pilling after you take the pills off, but sometimes they continue to pill. And one of the reasons for that is the hair, the fiber in cashmere, their fibers are very short. And so if you think about that, when they're spun, they can come out easily with a little bit of friction. And that's what pilling does. So cashmere is one of the big culprits of pilling. And other fibers or other yarns that are ones that are woolen spun, which means they're very loosely spun. They're an example of that. One of them is the Malabrigo Rios, or it's not that loosely, Rasta. It's not that loosely spun, but it's a single ply. So single ply yarns tend to felt more, or gosh, I can't speak today, tend to pill a little bit more. The others, the woolen spun ones like Brooklyn Tweed, their Shelter, I believe, is a woolen spun. And they're wonderful fibers because they're loosely spun, so they hold in warm air. So they're really nice to wear because they keep you very warm. But they do pill. So this is a gleaner, and I'll show you how it works. It comes in a kit, and it has some extra blades. I think these are a little bit, they're not quite as coarse. These are maybe for finer yarns, and you can switch them on and off by pushing them in and out. But this one, and I'll show you how it works. I use them all the time because I don't like pills on my garments. So you can see here's one of the culprits, but if you take your gleaner, the gleaner pulls it off. And it really can refresh a sweater. You know, you might have a sweater that's just filled with them, and you just have to do this, and it takes them all off, and you can see how much that, and they last a long time. I mean, this one I've had in the shop for forever, it seems, and I use it a lot. So the places that on this is just pilled from people picking it up and trying it on. But if you're wearing a sweater, they often, you get pills all along here where there's the most friction. So I recommend this, and I can tell you that there aren't that many fibers that don't pill. The yarns that are more tightly spun and are more than 2 plies, they're 3 plies or more, they tend not to pill because the fibers are tightly wound. There are other ones. Robin, can you hand me one of these? This one.
I also use the gleaner on my sofa cushions.
Oh, on sofa cushions?
It's great.
The other thing I didn't say is that there is a lint remover on the other side of this. So, and it also will take off some of the extra pills that your gleaner may have disrupted them, but it didn't take them with them. But this will also work really well. So I can't live without these. So you can see all the stuff I took off in just a couple of minutes, and there's a lot more. So I do recommend using these. Another fiber that I have here, this is called COTTON-MERINO. And what they do, and I don't know if you can see, there's a webbing. It's like a tube that looks like it's a chainette kind of thing. And that's the cotton part, and they blow in the merino. So this stuff tends not to, because it's kind of tightly in that woven thing, so they tend not to pill. So I recommend this. This is a nice kit. It's a great gift for a knitter or for anyone. You know, I've given them to my kids because, you know, they wear sweaters, so they can, so it doesn't have to be a knitter. It's a great stocking stuffer if you're looking for something like that, or just an unusual gift to give to somebody who you don't know what to get for them. So other gifts that I have, little things that, these are back in stock, and I thought I would, and the gleaners we've had off and on, so they are back in stock, and we do have a bunch of them.
And online. And online.
Online. And another fun thing that I love these, and I think I've shown them before, are these wrist rulers. And it's just a great, fun little sort of bracelet type thing, but it has a ruler on it. And it, first time you put them on, it takes a little bit of work to get it. There's a hole here that goes onto this little thing. But you have a built-in ruler. It's on your hand, but they're kind of fun and decorative, and it's a fun gift to give to almost anybody, but for a sewer or a knitter, it's a great idea and a fun, unusual kind of gift. This one is a pink, and they come in other colors. I have a couple other colors to show you. And I sometimes wear 2 of them. I have an orange one and a sort of brown one that I often wear together. But I like the orange one because it gives just a little pop of color, and if you just want something like that. This one is a tan color. There's the phone. We're not going to answer that right now. And then there's one other color. So that's a handy little gift item. And then this one is more of a caramel color. Very cute. That's another idea. We have lots of other small items that are good as little gifts, a thank you gift or a stocking stuffer. I have some projects that are, I thought I would show you. This is a hat that is made with, this is called A Study in Decadence. Is that the actual name of it? The Harbour hat, excuse me. It's called the Harbour hat, A Study in Decadence. And this is made with 1 skein of the ISAGER along with a skein of the cotton merino. And it makes this lovely, soft, warm hat. So I recommend that as a nice gift, a quick knit and a really nice warm hat. I like this because it's big. If you're concerned about it being big, you might want to cast on a few. I would do a gauge is what I would do with this, and make sure you get the gauge correct. But I like that because it's nice and floppy, and I'm dropping things on the floor. But some color combos. I love this because I love a red hat. I think they're fun, especially this time of year. And this one is the one the sample is this charcoal gray or almost black. Well, they're calling it black with a gray. And then we have a tan color, taupe, they're calling it. And you could do this taupe color with this, either way. Well, sorry, I held two of these up. I'm not on my game today. I apologize, folks. And then there are these blues that are kind of pretty. So I recommend that as a quick project. I wanted to show, we've shown this before, but, and these I believe are online. This is a great kit. And this is our Easy Seed Stitch blanket. Easiest baby blanket you can do with 4 colors. And we have online, we've got the this one that is this is a creamy yellow color, the white and a lime and a, what do they call that color? Honeydew. I guess it is like a honeydew melon. And a pink. And here it is in, this is a neutral one that could go boy or girl, with kind of a brick color and a taupey color, and white, and again the yellow. And I think I have a couple more over here. This one, and they call this color, what do they call it? Oasis? Anyway, it's a dark teal, again the lime, baby blue and white, and then lastly a baby blue, a darker blue, white, and the lime. So it's a nice project, goes quickly, it's on a big needle, size 10.5, so that would be fun for people to do. And one other thing that we have in the shop, and we can order also, are the interchangeable needle sets. This one happens to be bamboo, and this is, we can get metal, and we can get them in different sizes. And so if you're interested, you can call the shop and we can order them for you. But these come with the tips, and they're 2 different, no, this one goes from size 2 up to a 15. So this is a great set. It's got lots of options, and it comes with, let's see, small cables. There are, these are 8-inch, 8, 14, and 22, and then 8, 14, and 22 in the larger size. That's for these larger size needles, and the smaller ones are for these. So it's a great kit. They're fun to have. I like mine a lot, and I use them a lot. So, and it has a pocket on the outside here, and in there are a couple of goodies. They give you some cute little stitch markers. They give you this, which is invaluable because this is your needle check. You can do find out what size needle if you can't read. Often you can't read what's on the side of them. And then it has stoppers for the, if you want to use the tips for another project, it has these stoppers that you can screw into, and am I saying that right? Does it screw into the tip, or does it screw into the, it screws into the cord. So you can use those, and then it has these little things. This is what twists, this little thing twists the cord into the needle tip. So it comes with a lot of stuff. And the other sets are metal. We also have shorty sets, which we've shown before, and we can order those for you. I have more. I have some coming in this week, maybe today or Monday, into the shop. And those are the shorties with the 9-inch cords that you can use on socks, and you can use them on sleeves. They're great. And they have 3 sizes, I think, of cords. And they're tiny little fun. They're really fun. So you can, you don't have to use, people don't love magic loop, or if you hate double pointed needles, that's the one for you. I have another thing I wanted to show you. I'm about to bind off. This is my sweater that I'm doing. It's a grandpa cardigan, and it's by, see if I have my pattern, KAIDREE. I love her patterns. It's right there, Robin. This is a gift for someone. This is called Good Grandpa Cardigan. I hope you can see behind that. And I'm doing it in the Illimani Amelie, or Amelie, I'm not sure. So I'm here. I've done the body, and I'm about to do the sleeves, but I wanted to show you how I was going to bind off. And you'll often see in a pattern where it says bind off in pattern. So that means this is a knit 1, purl 1 rib. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit 1. So I knit 1, then I'm going to purl 1, and then I'm going to bind it off. And then I'm at a, so I bring the yarn over and I knit 1, bind off, purl 1, bind off. Now you can see I do this pretty loosely, and I've done enough binding off that I know exactly how hard to pull, how much to pull, so that I don't get a too tight a bind off. You don't want one that's too loose. You don't want one that's too tight. One thing you can do to avoid that, there's another bind off you can do, which some people call a stretchy bind off. You can knit 2 together through the back loop. So I knit 2 together, and then I bind off. Then I bring this back over, and I take that back. I did that totally incorrectly. We're assuming, here we are, we're assuming we're at the beginning of the row, because forget this over here, we'll pretend we're at the beginning of the row, because this is completely different. So I'm going to knit through to the back loop, knit 2 together, then I move this back to the other needle, and I knit, again, knit 2 together through the back loop, and you just keep moving it back and forth. And this gives you a reasonably stretchy bind off. So you can see. So you always want, and I've said this before, you always want a stretchy bind off. You want it to feel just like the fabric. It shouldn't be tighter, shouldn't be looser. It should feel just like the fabric that you've been knitting, because there's nothing worse than putting on your sweater and it kind of blouses and has this tight bind off at the bottom. You don't want to do that. So that is, and of course you can find there are many, many other bind-offs to be found. And you can just look on the internet. You can find them. Google has the answer to everything. I don't have much. Oh, yes, I do have one other tip I brought in. I brought in my bag of needles. And this is somewhat embarrassing because I have so many. But I see people come in with needles and they have to hunt through to find the right size. Well, what I've done is I got my good old ZIPLOCK bags out and I labeled. So I have in here so far I have size 3 and I keep them in order so that I can always see, but they're labeled. And I have all the way up to size 10s in here. And I always keep this with me because if I'm putting stuff away, so I want to keep my needle check. Is that really, it's a knit check is what it's called. And these are great. We have them in the shop. If you don't have one, you should get one. And you can do your gauge with.
So if you have this, can you throw away all your?
If Robin says, if you have this, can you throw away all your needles? No, because I could have 5 projects going on size 6 needles. So I need a lot of needles. One doesn't. And for different projects, you want to sometimes use a different needle. Sometimes, although I don't, I have almost no wood needles any longer. So anyway, I have this with all my needles in it. And I even have my interchangeables, some of my interchangeables in here. I haven't bothered to put back in my kit. But some needles are sharper than others, and I particularly like a sharp needle. I have 2 favorite needles. One are signature needles, which I think I've shown before, but I see one right here, which is these are needles you can only buy online. Sometimes you can see them at crafts fairs. So it's a really nice needle. They swivel on their coil, and I think now they're all sold as interchangeable. The kit is exorbitantly expensive, but I treat myself every now and then because they're about $40 a pair, but they are totally worth it. You can get different size shaft and you can get a different size point on them, a different, and I like them really, really pointy, and they're like knitting with butter. So that's one favorite needle. My other favorite needle, and a lot of people don't like them because they discolor, but once you start using them, they don't. These are the Addy Turbo lace needles. And I don't know, there's something about them that I really like. Right now they get discolored when they're not used, but as soon as you start using them, they shine right up. So those are my favorite. I also like the CHIAGOO, and I'm looking at the time. I'm running out of time here. So just a little message from me to all of you. I hope your holidays are wonderful, and filled with family and friends. But if you're feeling a little, I saw somebody on the news somewhere talking about how there was a woman who was kind of lonely, and she decided that she would start volunteering. She said that it brought her life back just with immense pleasure. She got so much out of it, and so much she was giving, but the volunteering was giving back to her. So I recommend that for anybody who, if you're a little bored, a little lonely, if you volunteer, you can find a whole family of people, people that'll be your kind of people who are out there volunteering as well. So I recommend it. It's a great thing to do during the holidays. Sometimes I feel like I'm volunteering here, depending on how business is going. But it's a really wonderful thing to do, especially around the holidays. We used to make, my kids used to make cookies and take them to the hospital where my husband worked, and they would bring them to nurses at Christmas. So there are things, little things like that you can do, but there are many organizations that need help during the holidays, which brings up again our push to knit socks for the Ukrainian soldiers. We meet on, you don't have to come, but we are here on Friday afternoons knitting socks from 3 to 5. We've sent one batch already to Ukraine, or they've gone to Latvia, and they'll go from Latvia to Ukraine, and then we're gathering more. So you have until January 15th. So make some socks for these cold soldiers. They need help, and I think they would appreciate it so much. So happy holidays to all of you, and I'll see you again before the actual holidays. So take care. Bye-bye.